Oh, so she was
Finish the project we started.
Yeah. Okay, I said something new. Come back.
Well, there's a lot of.
When we saw, you know, this.
But at least the name
So, you know, I'm not really present there. I'm not I know.
stay where you are.
Well, I already have. Kids.
So they're not available.
Well, this is a very good group. They know when to quiet down for the artists to talk. Well, welcome. Thank you for coming on this lovely day. I'm Hui Ping, along with Chen Yuan, that we work at the gallery, and this is a very special day. We have Professor Hiratsuka's show. We have Christine Sun, Suzanne Lindquist jewelry, and we have Michael and Barbara's Mihala Shibori, and they are here. So after Yuji, if I can call you, yes, and he's so Americanized, so we can call each other by first name. So after Yuji's talk, you're more than welcome to chat with the artist and to ask Yuji about his print if he does not cover the area that you're most interested in. Okay, but don't give him a hard time. Well, we are very honored to have Yuji's work here. Yuji came to this country in the 80s and pursued his fine art degree from New Mexico University, then MFA from Indiana University, and you know, kind of taught and gave workshops in the country. And luckily, in 1992, he came to Oregon, and he is a professor of printmaking and fine art at Oregon State, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we have a lot of ducks here, right? But I think beavers.
Go beavs.
Yeah. I first was introduced to Yuji's work by Gordon Gilkey. For many of many of us, love print know Gordon well. You know, he was the founder and director for the Portland Gilkey Center until he deceased in 2000. Anyway, Gordon called me and said, "You got to see his work. Fabulous." So without further introduction, I give you Yuji, and it's really a great honor to have Yuji's work here. And he has sort of changed his style a little bit, just that little bit, kind of lift us all up. So here's Yuji.
Well, you know, how much you have a time, so, you know, I'm kind of like a relaxed now. I find the free parking, so whatever coin, you know, tower parking was free, you know, so that was how I found it. Anyway, so, you know, my topic rambling, you know, like here to there and stuff, so that if you got bored, you're free to browse or, you know, leave, or I can stay however I want, you know, but anyway, free to ask also, you know, any questions you have. First of all, I guess that, you know, viewers, ducks, it's a big time came last couple of days ago. We have a national championship. Finally, you know, our sports being recognized. Baseball. Lots of economy happening in the downtown cold bars. People have been spending money or drink or in the restaurants. I guess last couple of days. That one. By the way, I'm also duck. My daughter is duck, so you know, hey, you know, my son is beaver, so you know, balanced out. Gilkey, I don't know how many of you know, Gordon Gilkey, but my encounter was, way before the higher, or way before, higher, being appointed in OSU. I had an interview with him, that when they're looking for a job, and then he was a big endorsement, when the OSU was consulting the Gilkey, and then. So he said, hire the boy, and that's how I got, being hired at OSU. So that's a long relationship, and he's passed away about 10 years ago.
2000.
October 28th.
2000, so 18 years ago.
2000, October.
It's a legacy, in Oregon, the state of Oregon. So that's the Gilkey, and then now let's talk about myself. Anyway, so. We've explained there, I came here about 30-some years ago, not knowing staying this long. Grad school, looking for the graduate school, something I needed, things changed from the Japan, just suffocating my, I don't want to say, but it's a good country, and I got a good pay being a middle school, high school teacher, but that was a little stressful for me, I got full-time employed, but the discipline is more important than the teaching subject, So I didn't want it, being an artist, printmaker. So I would just go browsing the, all kind of opportunity, what's available in grad school kind of stuff. I found it, and then that was the New Mexico State University, graduate assistant, especially international. I think this could be my thing to try. So I only applied one. That school, and then if not, I would be still teaching, or maybe I retired, in Japan. Anyway, from teaching the middle school, high school. Anyway, applied it and got accepted, and then that was okay. Let's try. So I went there. Then 1 year turned into 2 years. 2 years program, and then if I don't like it, I'm going home. But they start making a friendship, and then. By the time I finished the master program, they said you should go to MFA program, So I was looking for the terminal degree, MFA, and looking for the schools here, there. Applied a number of the schools, and then fortunately I got many schools accepted, and I just cross countries talking to all the schools, instructor, grad student, and then I made a best choice, I guess. Indiana gave me a best scholarship for the financial aid kind of things, So that. Moved to 3 years in Indiana, and then that time you start finding the teaching job also. I got the master program, that degree, so I was able to teach other school. It's not the TA and within the school, So I was teaching at DePaul University, filmmaking, so that made it easier to finding a next job. But anyway, Colorado College after the Indiana, 2 years, and then after that came to OSU, and then wonderful place. I enjoy every day. So that's my little background. Now the artwork, as you see, this is the color etchings intaglio using the copper plate. Sometimes you can use other plate, but they are metals. But I use a copper sheets. It's most durable. Also, in sense, the hardest, or you can get the detail. Little slow, but worth it, and of course spending. But so copper plate using chemicals, we call acid, and that's how I make the image on the plate. And then I make 4 times, 4 plates, black, yellow, red, blue. That's how I do it, and put the colors over it. Like a watercolor, when you have a green, color means, sometimes you can make a yellow and blue kind of like a combinations, pink, very shallow, like a red. Or the sky blue, very shallow, blue, and then the ink can create, kind of dark Prussian blue, dark ink, so lots of range you can shade. 4 color makes much more complicated, more colors, So I have a process here. So I like to talk about, the little, Wednesday I was here, and someone said I like to know, some, there will be artists, and they want to know process, So I just brought that. How I do kind of process information. For us, always 2-part printmaking means, the content, or what the ideas of these prints, or what my interest, or that part is another part too. So, it could be long, but as I said, some point if you get bored, you can just, do it whatever you want, So easier one, like just how I do it, So this my traveling bag, the things, So copper plate, heavy. Sorry. Anyway, I don't think we have this print, but here's what I do, okay? So I print on the Japanese paper, Kozo, which is mulberry paper, like this. So I start with a black key, we call key. And then, anyway, so that's how I start. So this is done. So that's the, like black portion of my entire image. And then I have ideas about, here missing. I have a master drawing, contour drawing kind of things. I keep it so that you don't want to lose it. But in the plate, this is good. So I did it. Of course, to get this point, I have to do lots of test prints, A little bit content, they are not just a process. I like, decorative aspect, like more. I like it, than less. So, I tend to put a lot of information, and then sometimes I should stop it, but but the horror backward,
Horror backward?
Yeah, that kind of like ideas, like I tend to get, I'm kind of unsecure if I don't do things, So anyway, so as you see, here there are a lot of designs, those designs are copyright-free Japanese traditional patterns designs. Sometimes they use kimonos or kind of things, So you can download, or you can get a book, and then you transfer, like digitally, and then transfer to the other plate, kind of things, Anyway, so that's done. So that block is completed, and next I make a yellow plate. So that's the yellow. You can't tell much, the yellow has not much shade because they are they are hue, kind of light, So when you see the black and white, you see the light gray, So you cannot create much dark yellow to light yellow. Makes sense, right? So I can, like a two shade, darker yellow, here a little bit you can see, So anyway, this is a yellow plate, right?
Yeah.
Test print done. So I combine, means this one put together. Right, so that's the next, here we go. I just brought 2 copies, so I just, they are doing this. I don't have to show, but anyway, so that's yellow and black. Okay. The reason, there are many reasons I do this. And then I do see the 3 students from my class, 1, 2, or ex-student, and then where's Mary? Oh yeah, 3 students. They know, this trick, because they watch and some they do it in my practice, But other people, they are supposed to know, or they don't know, like you guys, So this paper is good for durable, not the tissue paper. It's spendy also, Kozo paper. And then when you print the intaglio, etching we call, you have to wet the paper, mist it, At that point, this paper turns translucent, or they are transparent, So I can register, by looking down, plate there, drop the same spot for the plate and the image. So that's big reason I use this paper, Anyway, so that's a little more expensive, like when you have to mount on the other rug paper later. But so that's a big advantage. Most of paper, those Japanese paper. So that's just the information you might want to know. Here's a red. After that, I make a red plate. Now red has a lot of the depth. Right? Different shade of the red. Fire red versus what do you call the
Cadmium.
cadmium, they are this red, they are
Cherry.
Alizarin?
Alizarin.
Anyway, I teach you Japanese, okay? This one is a beni. BENI color. This is a shoe, you know, both red, you know, but the shoe is more like fire red. The beni is like cadmium and burgundy. Anyway, so I just test print, you know, which color fits my ideas, you know. Sometimes I mix it, you know, they are hybrid. Anyway, so that's the color red. You can see it, you know, like a rich red to the very shallow red. You can create, you know, the other red, you know, because it's kind of dark hue, you know. So that's done. So now, other black, yellow, red. Once again, I have two back there. I don't know which color I used it. Looks like they are shoe, you know, like a vermilion kind of fire red.
Yeah.
Looks like, you know. Right? So by doing this, you know, you can start getting the color orange because the yellow and red. But you know, I calculate, you know, whenever I do this, not just in like a next color, but in a very last color, you know, like if you want to make a green, I have to put the yellow, leave it, and don't put the red there, you know, and so that blue portion comes later, kind of stuff. You know. So if you are new, you might want color separate, you know, digitally or they are by manually watercolor or something, you know, much easier. But I know how to do, you know, and I just test print. If I don't like it, fix it, kind of things, you know. So by doing that, I make, you know, which color goes what spot, kind of things, you know. But anyway, so that's the three colors now, or three, you know, the shade, you know. Okay. Now, the finally, you know, like, as I said, you know, like, the last is the blue. I got a lot of test blue in here. Some works good, some doesn't work, kind of things, you know. So anyway, they are like this blue, they are greenish blue.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Okay, so one. And then this blue was not good, you know, didn't print well. So I don't like this ink, so I didn't use it. Sometimes too stiff, you know, I can modify. But in this case, I didn't want this ink, you know, like I have kind of enough, I don't want to use it, you know. So they are turquoise, and this more blue, right? So they know that my student, we have tons of like a color and blue shade or a red shade. Yellow, we have two yellow shade, you know. So what color you want to use it, and then you choose it, kind of things. Anyway, I think I like this one, you know. You get the most, you know, like a depth of the, you know, like three colors combination. So that's the blue came, and this is the final. So the, by the way, this one is popular, like marbling, you know, the background has a little bit weird shape, you know.
Yeah.
That's just mixture with the chemical with the water. Hard to control, you know. If it doesn't work, you just redo it, kind of things, you know. Anyway, background marbling. Anyway, so that's the blue cane. So that's the thingy. Basically nine, a little touch up, but you know, so that's the full color printing, you know. So you can get the purple or you can get the green secondary color, not just primary color. Plus the shade of, you know, using gray. So not like a relief. Relief you can do the full color printing, but it's kind of flat shade, you know, blue is blue, you know, not darker blue, lighter blue usually you can create, you know, unless you do the, you know, like, you know, channeling, you know, texture, you know, like an illusion make it. So they are etching, you can make a lot of nuances about the shading, so that's the I enjoy. And like I said, you know, registration makes it easy. And after that, the I just mount. I call Shinkore, but just for the sake of the, you know, the here the you know, going over the demo, you know, like what demo, you know, I just finished this Japanese paper and I just glued to the rag paper.
Yeah.
So, but I say, you know, like a Shinkore, we call, you know, but it's just printing on the thin Japanese paper, mounted on the BFK. That's more like, you know, proper explaining, you know, the other descriptions, you know, so anyway. And you notice it, I printed one plate, two images, and I separated the two. You can save your printing time, you know. There's a lot of commercial printing, you know, like screen printing. They have lots of 4 windows, you know. Lithography, huge offset printing. You know, they have a postcard, you know, like when you order the postcard, they're not going to make like a postcard for running the business, you know. They have like a postcard A, postcard B, postcard C, you know. Then just do the machines, you know, then machine cut, you know. So it's kind of same ideas, you know. You can save your printing time. But, you know, color gets same, you know, but hey. has a, looks like a hair kind of things. I do it. So that's the how I do it. Once again, the a little bit content. I like funny figures. Figures my style. I was talking to the curator. It's narrative is not cool. Sometimes it says and I do it, and then it's good. You have to just express the art as itself, and not a supplement for the other story. That's we call narrative. But anyway, so but yes, what I do, and then I cannot change it. Has a little bit, so the story background kind of things. You can just create your own ideas about what this person figure doing or thinking. Okay. I like the figure being decorated with a outfit or the hat kind of things, that decorate a figure itself. That's another reason I always start question, answering, why I do a female. I like a female, of course, but this female figure can do a lot of things, like a dressing, like a, the paper doll, adding a more like shoes, a skirt, or design, clothing, or the hat, that kind of things I can enjoy. That's why I do those fashion things, So that's a female, ending up. Put the bananas, unexpected. I like a food also, Flower, food, fauna, and then flora. That kind of things always comes with the figures, So that's my ideas. I keep talking about any questions, I can go forever, of course, from this point. Anything you want to say?
About eyes.
Eyes, again, this one, like ambiguous, they are mysterious. Just leave it, to the viewers, I didn't forget, but intentionally put that thing, but sometimes, once in a while, you can check there that some, you may see that some eyes,
Yeah, over there. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, I have an excuse, that has the eyes, and then some has the eyes. Okay, because that's not a human being, It's a doll, ninjo, we call Japanese, So that has the eyes. That's my excuse. So that's I do. Anyway, so. Figures also, finger, they are gestures. I just emphasize, that point being red, fingertips, because we feel the things not here, we touch by this, so that's most important portions of my style, so that's I like to, emphasize. Always hand has most of the time gestures, not like doing this, like that, doing this, so that also I wanted to just, thinking about what this person doing, kind of things, So that's the reasons. Fingers always, and the lips are always most of the time red. That's. I didn't say up to now, but like a little bit, sometime, like I look up the old Japanese woodblock prints. We call ukiyo-e prints. Very bright, decorative. They are very exaggerated, distorted. Their figure I'm more talking about. But very highly sophisticated print technique. They use the hand printing woodblock, so that's I look up sometime, and I just enjoy getting inspired kind of things. There are some has hokusai water just behind that, so just inspired kind of things. So I do and then look up. Get as I said, not influenced, but just. When I'm browsing, like Pinterest or whatever, the other, browser, I see something interesting, and I just keep it, kind of things. Now since you guys are here, so a little bit about also the contents or the background of each has a background. Yes, they are not like I like it. And I don't know why I did it. I don't think so. An artist's intent, or they are something you want to say, or they are right. So, like here, this has the again, like I make the like Western and East fused. So East, my culture background, East. Okay. Anyway, they are. So this one is, this torso portion like the Snow White, inspired, or you can see it. And then this portion, the Spanish painter Velázquez, the coat painter, not kind of dresses in the city. He did it, the younger babies to, like other queens, I think, Anyway, so that's for sure. I like, setting like this kind of like the theater. So as a, like a cotton things, that's not everywhere, but sometimes I do that. I see it over there. Okay, so red curtains, that kind of style. Here the, Asian, I think myself, I think, maybe you said no, but this looks like, Japanese or Asian flower, peonies. I don't know, really know. Okay, so that's fusion, I couldn't feel that, right? This one, I don't know, you can see from there, This one has a printmaking kind of ideas about, repeating, So there are some of prints, you can see the, same things over and over. So you saw my prints. I print a Japanese thin paper, so I can have that as is one unit, and then I can paste on the same picture of paper, repeat. So that's the ideas I do. So kind of one of a kind, and just adding like a body portion, different colors, So that's kind of like the printmaking can do it, kind of approach. Olympia or the Manet, the breakfast on the bed or something, so that's kind of inspired. Yeah.
On this one here, which most people can't see, you've got a gradient of red in the background. So it's like a, thicker to thinner.
Correct, yeah.
And then you've got some little pigment scratches inside there. That's completely different than the mono print of color. So how did you get that?
How I do it?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
Stumped him.
I guess he's asking this print,
Yeah.
It's sold, by the way.
So it's worth remembering.
You've got,
I brought another one, so.
you've got all this little scratchy stuff going, but then there's
Right.
dark and then light down there.
I do the weight prints, the August workshop. You can take my class. Mondays, right away. Anyway, it's heavy, so maybe you can.
No, it's not. It's not.
Anyway, that's the we call aquagents. I don't know how many of the printmaker do the etching, did the etching. So those people, yeah, I know he does. Okay. It's a kind of like make a sanding paper like a surface of the plate. Any plate, for me, the copper plate. So they are. You see the sanding paper, and then you stuff the ink. You wipe the ink with a cloth. You ink deposit there, and you print it. You get like any shape. So that's the ideas, and that has a coarse sanding portion to very fine sanding portion. Fine goes lighter color. Sometimes polishing the lighter portion with the grinding down kind of things. Sometimes we do the spray paint. More spray paint, less spray paint. Make a dot. That makes like a holes where the ink stays, kind of things. So once again, it's a little hard if you never done the this particular printmaking process. But basically the smooth copper to the texture copper, I can create. Also the acid can make it. You have acid and then plate. Dip it, tilt it, then just, tilting like this, and acid goes here, plate goes up and down, so that, longer you being so, the plate being so darker, gets, more edge. And the shorter time, the going lighter, so that's kind of control, you can make a dark to light kind of stuff. There's a lot of way to do, and there's a lot of preference, instructor or artist, so they make it different way, it's slightly different, Used to be the rosin, the powder. They use the baseball back again. They have like the cushion things, the pitcher mound, and then they have that, and they just grab it, and just throw it because it's sticky, And then that's the rosin powder, and we mix the not mix, we heat up with the powder. That makes a dots, traditionally, and then that makes aquagent with that texture. Anything more? Yeah.
We have Heather and Paul here from the Whitaker printmaking studio. So after the talk to them about many workshops they provide.
We had a wonderful time last year.
Yes.
It's guaranteed 120% satisfied. Yes.
We didn't finish.
So you have to come back. Only 2 days workshop, so it's a little tough, you know. It's 2 days. 2 days. Usually 5 days, but you know. So. Just for the entertainment, and they can go back in again. You know. So this one, it's kind of funny, you know, like, you know, that's not like, you know, usual subject, but this one is like a group project. Means the class assignment kind of stuff, you know. Many artists in the printmaking field do the like a portfolio exchange, which she's organizing, you know. So we get involved in a lot of this kind of thing coming from the email or friends, and hey, you want to do this, that. Has a not like, you know, free, sometimes has a size restrictions or size or the technique restriction, theme restrictions, you know. With our portfolio print is a flower, okay, you gotta do something for politics sometimes, you know, talking about those kind of like president kind of stuff, you know. So that's also, you know, like, you know, hey, we're gonna do it kind of stuff. Anyway, so this one is the size of this, you know, I have no options, you know, and the edition number also, you know, this one is the, okay, Dante, I'm not Asian, so like I know a little bit Japanese, old, you know, like 18 or the 8th century, you know, like Murasaki Shikibu, or you know, the Seishon Nagons, you know, those are literature in there, I know, 1,000 years ago. But this one is West, of course, you know, the Dante Inferno. So that's what they pick up from there. Okay, so each assigned, you know, which scene you want to do, that kind of things, you know. Referring the illustrator called Gustave Doré. He did lots of engraving, you know. So that's their ideas. Okay, so I was assigned do this portion, do these portions. Anyway, they are giants, you know, giants by the three giants and by the well, or on the well, next to the well, something. That was my portion, you know. After that, you can do anything you want. So, so this is my interpretation of that scene, you know. So that at least you can see the well under. This is my 3 giants, you know. So it's a giants means big, physically. So this one, you know, they are maybe this is only one Western figure. They are professional wrestler, Andre that giant. He died, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You know, he's a big French guy, I think. You know, they are. Anyway, they are. So that's him. You know, I liked him. You know, when I was a kid. You know, he was strong. You know. And this one is the it's Japanese, you know, kind of. This one is a movie. About 15 years ago came the, it's called the Big Man Japan or something. It's kind of silly sci-fi movie, you know. It's Dai Nihonjin, that's the other Japanese way. And he just battled with lots of monsters, you know. So kind of like a joke, you know. But anyway, so that's, and this one is much even older, like, you know, like a 60s, you know. I was a little baby. Another Dai. Dai means giant, you know. This one, Dai Nihonjin. Dai Nihonjin means Japanese guy, you know. And Dai Majin, you know, means the kind of monster kind of things, you know. Samurai monster kind of stuff, you know. Anyway, he, you know, they attacks lots of bad guys, you know. So anyway, so that's 3 people I just introduced. So just wanted to mention, and kind of like I do some assignment project. If I like it, if the time is allowed, also sometimes too short, I don't know how to do it. Well, a good part of this being exposed, you know, like, you know, all the conferences, you know, all the meetings, you know, all the printmaking, you know, oh, I saw your prints there and things. So sometimes, oh, I know I was invited to do.
Is that one finished? Because I noticed there's not as much design work.
Yeah, it's done. I already, you know, recommend out, you know, like, you know, it's already exhibited somewhere, you know, print conference kind of things. Anyway, so it's not for sale, edition limited, you know. Back to the, you know, display. I'm just randomly going, but, you know, moving here is easy. So that one, most recent ones, they are 18. So that's, you know, a few weeks, well, not a few months old, you know. So once again, I like a figure, so no doubt about that. I like a gesture, you know, figure doing something, you know, the posing. I like a design, you know, their skirt or the, you know, and the, I don't know, the other shirts, you know, is unnecessary. I put a lot of color, that kind of stuff, you know, so that I enjoy. Finger tips, yeah, and then I like accessories, right? You know, that's I do. This case, you know, these two and that, you know, over there, I had, you know, the opportunity to exhibit just a few weeks ago. I was there, and I had show at Russia. So that is not quick project, you know, like a few months ago we were discussing, you know, what you want to do, you know, like you know, and then you know, you want to expect there, here, okay, in Russia. So I was asking curators, maybe you can do some Russian theme, you know, just be nice, and that's how I started, you know, these prints. So whether that Russian taste, that's the Russian national flower, I think, you know. I don't know, can you tell? Maybe Natasha can tell about it. That's a Russian hat. You know, flap comes down, you know, when you get cold, you know. What is it? That's the hat, you know. So anyway, so that's subtle, you know, it's not showing obvious, you know. Maybe you can pass it, you know, like, oh, where's I didn't see the Russian theme, you know. But if you say that, so people from there maybe, yeah, he used this, you know. This one also, you know, they are, this one a little bit, again, that similar to that, has a little Japanese, you know, my, you know, the, you know, culture, you know, here's the other oxide waves, you know. And here's all the Russian, I guess, the dress patterns kind of things, you know. Here and then tiara and then, you know, firebird, you know, the other kind of things that inspired from the student also, you know. Anyway, they are so, you know, the feather kind of things. So that also Matryoshka, or there are some Japanese hokeshi, we call wooden, you know, like a door things, you know. So that kind of put side by side. So just I'm trying to diplomatic, you know. You know, in Japan, here's Russia. Sorry, not Americans, but I still think I'm still Japanese, you know. So. Here is the little bit I see, you know, like other, you know, there are series of these. They are little kawaii. You know, kawaii means in Japanese cute, you know. But everyone says it's kawaii. The girl says, you know, expressions, you know. So. They have like, you know, like we call maid cafe. I don't know how many we care that kind of things. In Japan, like, you know, pretending you are the master. When you go there, you know, all the other basic waitress, you know, has this kind of like, you know, the outfit, you know, and then they say, master, welcome home, and what would you like to drink, kind of stuff, you know, kind of like a role game we call, you know, like the cosplay. You know, cosplay, you know, they do, you know, anyway, so that's the kind of ideas, you know, so they are, this girl is serving the, you know, like a, you know, burger, anyway, and has a like cute, you know, cat's eye head things, you know, that's, they like it, you know, okay, so that's, as I said, in the Japanese culture kind of stuff.
What's happening with the pair of hands? Is she being groomed there in the upper?
Oh yeah, this was just extra, you know.
Extra,
you know,
okay.
it's hard to explain, but I wanted, you know, like this person being, you know. Yes, okay, so that's things. I like a bird, so that's the here. You can see again, you know, this is the typical ideas of, you know, like repeating the prints. The one unit I print this editions. I make like 30 or so, and then, you know, like 15 for one individual editions, and then, you know, like the rest of the prints I just collage and then put together one, you know, like an image. I like a little bit, you know, this the gold. Some, you know, not all, but some have, you know, metallic sheens, you know, the background. Like I said, you know, like two ways. You know, one is a Japanese like a screen painting, or the Western icon painting kind of things, Byzantine kind of things. You know, so you can, you know, like apply to either way about, you know, what I do. You know, so but. I do the acrylic paint, and I like, you know, I like to put a lot of things. So that's what you see, you know. Anyway, I can go forever, but you know, each point I can say, but if you, yeah.
You showed us 4 layers with the colors overlapping, and in this particular piece, I think I count 20 different colors.
Oh yeah, because this one is a collage. So this portion is one project of friends, But this one or this one even same, and like you can see this red and this red sometimes different, Anyway, so that one unit I printed, and then this one became collage added, like this one different red. So what's happening was, as I said, I have a set of the prints with the edition, but I have leftover print, not mounted on the VFK, so I just cut up and then just paste it, and then find another print, cut up, paste it, so make a one-kind collage, So each time, has a different ink, so ending up many colors.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, so these are new ones, last couple of years. I enjoy this. Also, not only like that, but also I use Japanese chiogami, which called like a fancy pattern paper. You can buy the Oremo supply. I like to go there, rather than photo brick. These are from there, Any agent here? Get a discount. Anyway, those are printed. Those are wash paper, pattern, maybe this screen print, offset print. So these are, like I just get it and then just use it for what you're doing. So it's kind of like a lot of mixture. Anyway,
Are you using gold leaf?
paint. That's not leaf, but it's a gold, but acrylic paint. Yes.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, I like those kind of like Japanese or the Western way, but yeah, for the screen print or the painting, in Japan, they have a lot of landscape, everything, background is all gold leaf,
Yeah.
But gold leaf is little hard to my skill and then money complexity hard, so I just paint it,
Yeah.
Last year, how many of you? It's not my PR, but I went to Hamanishi, their demo, he showed how to do gold leaf, using a tongue, it's amazing, and lots of waste, but he had a waste of the powder put in the box, and he springs for another, project, so he doesn't waste it. Anyway, so these are just watercolor acrylic paint.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I noticed with this body work that your colors are still very bold and dramatic, but they seem to be more softer and more subdued. I'm wondering if you were using a different type of ink, or is it?
Good.
Your earlier work was a lot darker and intense, the colors.
Well, it's not early or the new or it's time to time it changes, and sometimes it's not my intentional. It is intentional, and under mine, I guess, a credit, but I use different ink. That's a very, like a big factor, So I use like two kind of, like a water soluble ink now. One is that we call aqua ink, AK, not the Q, AKUA, aqua, and then that ink is very soupy. Not to get too much intense color, but like very subtle tones you can shade, you can create. And the other one we call Carigo ink. It's much more stiff, but can create much more intense color, So that's sometimes time to time I change. I want to use this red, I want to use this blue kind of stuff. That creates A print and B prints of mine different, So sometimes I can use the modifier. We call the the watercolor means the water. Adding paint and water, how much you get, and get the thin, light or dark, intense kind of ideas. So they are. So that's pretty much the ink. And the old ones, this new ink, the water soluble ink came out like a market about 15 years ago. And that portion was the beginning. That was awful ink. It was not usable for artists, kind of joke, So every year those inks are improving, newer product, close to oil-based ink kind of ideas. But before that, I was using the oil-based ink, etching or the lithographic ink, At that point, sometimes get very intense color, Why I stopped it, two reasons. One is of course, that's more technical information. One is it's toxic, of course, they are oil-based versus water soluble. So that's one. And then the wiping much easier, the water-based ink, Copper plates also they have oxidations. I don't know how much you're familiar with the copper surface. When you have a copper plate, you rub it like that, you get black things that like you always like getting colors. I don't know, color oxidation. Anyway, the color changes. So when you apply the ink and when you do the frictions, wiping, the colors darker portion and the colors always being mixed. When you do longer, you do this, darker you get. Never get yellow and the fresh yellow. That unless you do steel coating protections. But the water-based ink, it's easier to wipe means you have a less friction. Wiping quick, so ink stays as is, not like contaminated with color, so you get the better color, so that's the advantage. So that nowadays I just use a water-based ink, so that's the idea. Anyway, yeah.
Talk a little bit about the red fingertips. What is that?
Anyway, again, they are. I make, they are here, there, on the left cheek, on the left lips. That's pretty much my catch. Trademark, let's say, sometimes you have a reason, but hey, that's not reason. But again, if I have to say, like I said, fingertips is more sensitive. You touch their things on the fingertips. That's, like first you think, like you feel it. So that's, I like to emphasize. Also, they are composition sake, sometimes I overlaps like doing this, right? The figure, arm, or skin portion doing this. If you have the same colors, it's kind of flat, So just the composition, just emphasizing the difference between these things and these things. I make this finger red, then you can see, like finger stands out kind of things.
Now, HP had some speculation that you were gesturing kabuki movements with some of the hands.
Yeah, true. I don't watch, but they are, some people are avid, they are. When you go there in the Kabuki theater, already you see like new seasons and you kind of addictive, It's very elaborative, they are the bright, dazzling, it goes like an opera, Western opera, then they have like a script, if you have a West, like Western people, they have English kind of thing, you can read what's going on in the story. It's not just like performance, it has a story, Anyway, yes, they do the act is very, like a over act, what you call exaggerated. They are, if you're surprised, not that, huge action they do, so that's the portions I just try, they are borrowed or, inspired, so that's, yes, so they are kabuki, not always, but, but they are, like painting also, outfit, garment, has a lot to like, like the colors, and then layout of the clothing kind of things. By the way, so they are my catches. I don't do the kimono much. I do occasionally, but my outfit dress is dress in Western, kind of like things. I watch the Vogue or interview magazine, what you are going through, kind of things. The Victorian era garment that I just go through. Lots of fancy stuff, just inspired.
Well, Yuji can continue to talk, I know.
Yeah.
You also know how free he is. And that's the part I think it really
I
shows.
talked 50 minutes, 48 minutes.
It really shows on his work. So he will be here along with the other artists, and please join us for a glass of wine and some cheese and crackers. And any questions, just approach them. And thank you again for coming. Have a good weekend.
Anyway, I'm here to talk to you guys. But here, light the color,